experiments are proving things in ESP, extrasensory perception, magic, mediumship, all this weird stuff that most scientists will never touch. So he's proving that magic is real, and the biggest part of what he's proving is that, well, he's taking on old experiments, and I can go in deep, but old experiments show that when you're not looking at something, it exists in a state of probability waves, kind of like light might exist they say it's a wave, right? But light can be collapsed into a particle as well. So which is it? It's not just light. It's everything. Everything exists in a state of probability when you're not looking at it. That doesn't mean that it's not there completely. I mean, it's just, but is it? Is it there? But because things only exist in a solidified state when you're looking at it, that means reality exists as a function of the observer. If reality exists as a function of the observer, when your awareness is on something, then that means that perhaps if you change your awareness, you can change your reality. And that's also talked about by a guy called Dr. Joe Dispenza. He has a book called Beyond Belief. And he has a bunch of books where he goes into how to use your physiology to change your reality. Because emotion is one of those things that just happens to help you focus on certain aspects of your life. And it's also one of the ingredients in magic and in what Napoleon Hill is talking about. So he believed, this is talking about Mr. Carnegie, he believed the formula should be taught in all public schools and colleges, and expressed the opinion that if it were properly taught, it would so revolutionize the entire educational system that the time spent in school would be reduced to less than half. Yeah. Let's see. His experience with Charles M. Schwab and other young men of Mr. Schwab's type convinced Mr. Carnegie that much of that which is taught in the schools is of no value whatsoever in connection with the business of earning a living. It's still this way 100 years later. Can you believe that? Or accumulating riches. He had arrived at this decision because he had taken into his business one young man after another, many of them with but little schooling, and by coaching them in the use of this formula, developed in them rare leadership. Moreover, his coaching made fortunes for every one of them who followed his instructions. In the chapter on faith, you will read a astounding story of an organization of the giant United States Steel Corporation, as it was conceived and carried out by one of the young men through whom Mr. Carnegie provided this formula will work for all who are ready for it. The single application of the secret by that young man, Charles M. Schwab, made him a huge fortune in both money and opportunity. Roughly speaking, this particular application of the formula was worth $600 million, which means he was basically Jeff Bezos. These facts, and they are facts, well known to almost everyone who knew Mr. Carnegie, give you a fair idea of what the reading of this book may bring to you, provided that you know what it is that you want. See, it's a very important part of this process, knowing what you want. I had this struggle myself. If you don't know what you want, the universe is going to give you whatever you don't want, or it's not going. The universe is not going to know what to give you, so it's just going to kind of be a little bit more random. Or if you don't know what you want, oftentimes your psychology is dominated by negative things because you're uncertain. You don't know what you want. I know what I want, but I didn't know that when I started this journey. So I would get random things because there wasn't one strong thread